Hi. Hi. So we're back, and this is the third of the videos that I'm making, the final video of the Abrahadabra Talisman series. So, in the first video, we learned how to make a manifesting and a demanifesting or counter-manifesting Abrahadabra talisman, right? So we take a quality that we desire to manifest and a quality that we desire to demanifest, and we bring this quality into being, and we bring this quality out of being. Now, I have suggested that we phrase this in a positive way. So instead of I remove clutter from my life, I am uncluttered, or I'm free from clutter. And this runs a little bit different to what I've taught in the past, which is just straight out name the negative. But I'm trying out something a little new, which is the idea of as we demanifest the negative, understanding it's the negative that's being removed, but the positive state is what results, because at the same time we're bringing something down. And so this is this sort of double articulation, the simultaneous uncreation creation, this simultaneously mode of changing experience. And so in the second video, I taught you how to establish an overall theme, and I taught you to establish an overall theme and then create 6 of these manifestation, demanifestation talismans. And the theme itself forms the 13th, and between the 2 manifestation and 2 demanifestation talismans, you end up with a total of 12 talismans that form a unity. And what's interesting here is that I want you to now start to play with these talismans. So we have these, and what we're going to do is we're going to try different ways of arranging them. You can make a mandala and meditate on it. Notice that they're ultimately interchangeable, and we're going to lose the sense of which talisman meant which thing. We are transitioning from the mental desire, which is subject to a dichotomy, to the heart's desire, the heart's energy, which is not subject to a dichotomy. So by simply pressing the energy through this, drawing the energy, charging this, without subject to debate or worry or desire or fear or any of that, this matrix becomes loaded with meaning. And what I'm going to suggest now, as we try these different configurations, notice that these are not the world's most perfect Abrahadabra triangles, right? There's some gaps and but the letters are all correct, and there are 11 stages in each, so it will work. So I put in this case, the demanifester is on the inside and the manifester is on the outside. So look what happens. There's a hole in the middle, right? So this threshold, this line of manifestation right here, and then this space in the center through which things pass. So this creates a toroidal flow. What happens if we do it like this? What happens if we swap these out? I want you to play with this and take time to consider all the different ways that this set of talismans can shape the energy of this suite of 13 or this suite of 12 energies plus a 13th, or 6 energies if you like. Now, there are 66 units in each triangle, because the sum of 1 to 11 is 66. Here's a cool one, right? This one's fountaining out from the middle. As opposed to flowing into the middle, this one's fountaining out from the middle, because the manifestors are in the middle going out. And then the demanifestors on the outside. You might want to try that. They're both legitimate. They're both, because at this stage of the game, I am loath to say there's a single absolute recipe you need to follow, except that I want you to play with the different feelings, play with the different ways that you can arrange this and how it feels, and take time with it. And to that effect, I'm going to suggest a daily practice. And this is something that you can do continuously. I'm going to suggest that those of you who pick it up, last time we did this, last time I taught this, was also in the path of the lovers, where we are now, and we carried it all the way through to the path of the mages. Now I'm going to suggest that we do that. So taking time every day to exploring this. If you don't want to bring the talisman out and do this, that's okay. So, but I want to start by giving you two activation mantras that are both essentially the same but different, right? So the two are words that we've already become familiar with, and they are Hiawe and they are Rahur. So what's the difference? So okay, first of all, I'll show you both. So I'm laying this out so it's fountaining out from the center, and what I am going to do is I'm going to intone Rahur. Remember, Rahur is 418, and these are all Abrahadabra triangles. So Abrahadabra is 418. So this compounds it. So this supercharges the 418 energy. Solar, focused, magical, singularity, hadit. Right? So observe. Rahur. 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 Now notice when I did that, I went from the inside to the outside, except for this one I did from the outside to the inside. So in the future, so I'm not going to worry about it too much, but in the future, I'm going to note that and correct it. So in the future, I'm learning from this. So in the future, the pattern, because manifestors, demanifestors. And I did clockwise, circling of it. And I did 13 intonations of Rahur. So that is one for each of the triangles, and then for the totality. And here's the cool thing that connects this to tarot, is that there are 6 letters in the word Rahur, and 13 utterances of it. Therefore, there are a total of 78 letters. So in that I have just married this to the tarot. I have connected this energetically to every single card in the tarot deck, brought together into a Magen Star. This is significant, and this is a meditation that can continue and be practiced every day. Now, here's the other word you can use. And I use both. And I try to use both. Equally. So here it'll be. And in fact, I could flip this around for that. You know, why don't I do that just for the sake of the kind of symmetry of this? So I'm going to do this. You don't have to. This is play. So much about magic is play. And we need to learn to roll with that, right? So here we go. So I've got this now. This is flowing inwards, right? So I'm going to use Ahiyawe, which is the sacred name of God, which totals 32. So it doesn't directly amplify the 418 energy, but remember that the 32 energy connects to the tetrahedron ring. Right, so this gives us actually the tetrahedron ring. So this actually does give us, and the tetrahedron ring has the 12 tetrahedra that are, the 8 tetrahedra to the directions that become the Magen Star, that themselves are have the value of 66. So again, so this is resonant, and it's a nice. It is to the fire of Rahur like drops of water, soothing, crystalline, clearing water. So I highly recommend working with both. Ahiyawe, 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 Ahiyawe. And that gives us another 118, another 78 letters. So because Ahiyawe is also 6 letters. And uttered 13 times is 78. So what's interesting is we now have 144 utterances, 144 letters in play. 78 are Rahur, and 78 are Ahiyawe. And if you imagine, actually, they come together, they form the front and the back of the tarot. Because how many surfaces in a 78 card tarot deck? 144, right? So consider that both sides of this equation, Ahiyawe and Rahur, help us complete this 144-fold energy, this. Is it 144? No, it wouldn't be. Wouldn't it be? It would be 156. Anyway, so, but in any event, yeah, that's 78, 78. Yeah, that's 156. 72 and 72 is 144. Doesn't matter. That's a different thing. Remember, Ahiyahweh connects to the 72 full name of God, so that's definitely drawn into it. There's so much going on when we use this. We're bringing our harmonized energies, our coherent, congruent energies into line with the tarot and into line with our practice. So this is something you can do. If you don't want to necessarily lay this out every day, I recommend that you try this a bit. But a refinement of the practice is this. Knowing that Rahur activates the 418 quality, and the 13 utterances of Rahur bring that about. That's kind of like a daylight, the hadith point. Knowing that Ahiyahweh opens the more oceanic kind of current, connecting to the tarot, and 13 utterances of it would be kind of like the night. So what you can do is, if you consider this linked, and this is a practice as I'm developing, is the first thing I say in the morning is I'll chant, even before I get out of bed, I'll chant Rahur 13 times. And then the first thing I say before I go to sleep would be Ahiyahweh 13 times. See, this now connects this whole practice to a constant, a continuous day-night cycle, waking and sleeping. The last thing I would like to show you is where we can resonate these on our body. So it turns out that there are 13 major articulation points in the human body, right? So there is the ankle, that's number 1, right? First ankle, number 1. Second ankle, number 2. First knee, number 3. Second knee, number 4. First hip, number 5. Second hip, number 6. First wrist, number 7. Second wrist, number 8. First elbow, number 9. Second elbow, number 10. First shoulder, number 11. Second shoulder, number 12. Neck, number 13. So, we can chant these while visualizing them moving up through the body. So, Rahur Ahiyahweh, 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 Rahur Ahiyahweh. Connecting 5 levels of being, the primordial, the emanative, the creative, the formative, and the substantial. That's 13 principal articulations and then 5 centers. So there's a meditation, and so you can activate the Rahur, which is very daylight energy in the morning, Ahiyahweh, which is crystalline energy in the evening. So that's something you can do.